Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified of when we upload new video content, which is always going to be on a regular basis. Be on the first to view, first to like, first to comment, first to share, and all that good stuff there. Okay, so basically this is a review on Royce the 5'9's album, The Allegory, and the artwork is basically of it's basically like the $1 bill, and it's basically crossed out the word United, and it's like it's burnt as well, like it's burning, well yeah, burnt, and then the rest of the background is white. So that's a very interesting piece of artwork. So first of all, yeah, let's get into the track. So basically there's 22 tracks. There's Mr. Grace intro, excuse me. Then there's Dope Man featuring Imani or Imani, and also Cedric the Entertainer. That's a surprise. Not really, because if you know Cedric the Entertainer, he's been doing certain things like this before. Then there's I Don't Age. Then there's Pendulum featuring Ashley Sorrell. Then there's I Play Forever featuring Graph. Name's Graph, y'all. If you know, you know. Then it's Ice Cream Interlude. Then there's On the Block featuring Oswin Benjamin and DJ Premier. Then there's Generation is Broken. Then there's Overcomer featuring Westside Gun. Then there's Miss Grace Interlude. Then there's Thou Shall featuring Kid Vicious. Then there's Fubu featuring Conway. Then there's A Black Man's Favorite Shoe skit. Then there's Upside Down featuring Ashley Sherrill featuring Benny the Butcher. Then there's the Perspective skit. Then there's Tricked featuring King Crooked. Then there's Black People in America. Then there is Black Savage featuring Cy, Ari the Kid, White Code, and Sci-Fi the Prince, and also T.I. Then there's Rhinestone, Do-Rag. Then there's Young World featuring Vince Staples and G Perico. Then there's My People Free featuring Ashley Sorrell. Then there's Hero featuring White Gold. So there's quite a number of features on here. Interesting. That doesn't take away from the project itself. But I will say this. It's an impressive album. Extremely impressive album. Because what's interesting is, right, I had to look up Allegory, the Allegory, yeah. I thought, what the fuck does that mean? And even, I'm looking up it now again. Because what's even in the actual track here itself, I mean the album, sorry, my bad, there's a skit where he mentions the actual name of the album, what it actually means. But I think it's the woman explaining it, because yeah, it's like it's a mother speaking. And it's funny because other speaks, they just the root meaning of allegory is other speaking. So, but that was not the meaning that they said. Alright, so basically the meaning they more or less said was a story and a poem that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or a political one. So that's pretty much what this album really is about. And this is why how can I put it? This is why when it comes to albums and when it comes to MCs and stuff like that, this is what I like. I like this lyrical content, but it's also delivering like educational type of ish. Like I like that shit. I really like that shit. So at the end of the day, let's say for example, the ice cream skit, right? Where the woman like, oh, you're talking to the ice cream man because the van was playing the tune, innit? She goes into details and says, oh, but that's it stems from racism. Correction, though. Correction. Even though that is indeed a fact, before that, it comes from what is it called again? Fuck. I know what it's called. The turkey and the straw. That's what it's called. Turkey and the straw. And that was, and then years later, I forgot the name of the guy, but they mentioned it anyway in the interlude, and it made you. This is the thing about it. It made me do more research, thinking, "Raw, is that really true?" Like raw, and then I come across a video on YouTube. I think, "Raw, okay," and then in what's the name of that cartoon? I can't remember the name of the cartoon, but I believe it's one of the cartoons that I used to watch growing up. But it wasn't as racist as it was now. Well, back then, should I say? It wasn't as racist before. It's crazy so they try to change the history of. Do you understand? It is complete mind-boggling when you see these type of things, because he even alludes to something else that was very intriguing to me. I'm like, what the this is mad. Like, this is mad. So I don't really necessarily have a particular favorite track, but one song, and then also at the beginning of the track, the intro, talking about generational wealth, and if talking about he was talking about group economics, speaking to his, I don't know if it's his actual son, I don't know, but he's speaking to a kid and to a boy, and he's letting him know what the situation is, answering back and giving the correct answers. And the same thing in the Miss Grace interlude. I don't know if it's his daughter, but the interaction is very interesting. That's the type of stuff that I like to hear and see. Like I said, I don't know if it's his real kids or not, but like a father showcasing that level of guidance, that level of teaching. You understand? Because that's how it's supposed to go. You understand? That's how it's supposed to go. So that's just a natural thing, isn't it? But seeing and hearing a black man do that in this day and age is good, genuinely, because people need to see that black fathers do exist, and they do keep it 100, and they do nurture the next generation as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, one artist that also stood out to me was or feature. Obviously, I know about Graph, but like Ashley Sorrell, I'm gonna have to do a review on one of her albums or whatever she got at the moment or whatever, because there's something about her that I gravitate towards. I don't know what it is. And also the whole production of the album. I mean, you got to look at it. He's a genius. Excuse me. Like, yeah, he's a genius, because when you work with someone like DJ Premier, your standards are high. And my standards are high if I know you're even part of a duo called Prime, which is Premier and Royce the 5'9". You understand? So it's like, and I'll give Eminem his credit. You know, bad meets evil and stuff. But yeah. But speaking of Eminem, there is one thing I forgot what it's called. Also, before I get into that, yeah, T.I.'s verse is shocked me as well. Well, it didn't really shock me. I didn't expect to hear him on Royce Five-Nine's album, to be honest with you. What was it? Yeah, the Fubu thing, the Fubu album. So obviously acknowledging Damon John, but yeah, me, that's a good look. Yeah, I think it's in the perspective skit. Yeah, it has. In fact, yeah, perspective. I believe it is perspective, where Eminem is talking about certain things about racism and all that stuff. They're saying, "Oh, if I was a black kid growing up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and all I saw was this or that, and there was more white superheroes and less, what do you say, and less black superheroes and stuff like that." He was going into detail, and he said like, "Oh, I will grow up with a chip on my shoulder." I'll get into that bit in a bit, but he also mentioned prior to that, mentioning about Rosetta Tharpe and Chuck Berry started rock and roll or something like that. He alluded to that, I should say, which is facts. Those are facts. But then he mentioned, Elvis comes along, does well and stuff like that, and he gets the credit and blah blah blah. But it's interesting because Eminem has said before in his music, he's referenced himself to Elvis Presley. Do you get it? So I'm thinking to myself, hang on, does he think people are idiots? But then you have to realize something. Everyone grows at different paces and different stages and ages of their life. So I'm not even going to knock him for that skit there and that perspective. However, what I don't understand is, because I don't know when this was recorded. I really don't know when this was recorded. But if you look back at the review I've done of Eminem's album, I don't know whether both their albums was recorded at the same time. If it was, and the artwork was done at the same time, Royce the 5'9" needs to have a sit-down conversation with Eminem, but also let people know about the situation of supporting, a racist filmmaker. That's my take on it. Do you understand? I can't remember who it was. I think it was on the Halfcast podcast, and I can't remember who said it, but they said something along the lines of, in regards to Diddy and the May situation, about Diddy preaching all the stuff here, but then he's not practicing what he preaches. In a nutshell, that's what they were saying, and that's my interpretation of it, and it's true, and to me it's the same thing. It's like, yes, this information, but at the end of the day, you're there disrespecting black icons, yeah? For what? You understand? You're there, alright, cool, you can rhyme. Cool. You can really bar, you can really flow. Alright, cool. But why the hell are you going at pop stars? Why don't you go at, I'm not even gonna rant on Eminem. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. But my point is, at the end of the day, because of the whole scheme of this album and Royce the 5'9" being close with Eminem, yeah, because obviously he's close with Eminem. He's even on Eminem's album. You understand? He's on his recent album. So it's like, surely, and they're both from Detroit. So surely these two can sit down, have a conversation, and you see what I'm saying? So, and sort out certain things and let the world know, because at the end of the day, I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm not God. You understand? I'm not the Most High. You understand? I'm just me. I'm a human being, a spiritual being living in a human form and stuff like that. So it is what it is, man. I'm just saying from the perspective of Royce the 5'9", if you're talking about all these stuff here, I would like to see the same energy kept towards Eminem and him supporting a racist and him being, you know, doing, like, how to explain it? There's certain things I pick up on and some people don't see it, and I'm not trying to hate on anyone. Get me? If you're talented, you're talented. But if you do wrong, you do wrong. And to me, yeah. But anyway, I've gone on way too long than I should have for this video, which might be as long as Eminem's one. Irony. So I'm gonna talk about, because I know we take songs out of context, and you know it is what it is. So I'm gonna talk about Tricked. Yeah. And the reason why I'm gonna talk about Tricked is because even though it's out of context, it's because it's still the same thing. Because what tends to happen is when you have lack of knowledge, especially when it comes to dating and relationships, what tends to happen is you're tricked. Like, you are tricked, you are hoodwinked, you are bamboozled. Like, you really are tricked. Let's be real, because you need to know the truth about how relationships work. If you're not taught it, what's going to happen? If you're not taught the truth, you're going to end up making mistakes. You're not making a lot of mistakes, you end up wasting your time. And you start wasting your time, you start to realize, wait, there's more to life than this situation that transpired. So my situation is to you is, if you click the link in the description box below where it says become a member of the I Could Be Done Trust, you will be able to get access to online courses such as roles and relationships. That's where you're going to learn how to develop yourself as a pure feminine woman. If you're a woman watching this, if you're a man watching this, you learn how to develop yourself as a fibered alpha male, plus learn exactly how relationships actually work. Yeah. And also you learn how to in the healthcare course, how to strengthen your mental health, because that also comes with it, right? That also comes with it, because what tends to happen is you don't want to feel tricked and you don't want to trick others, because that's your karma if you're trying to trick others anyway. So what I recommend that you do is make sure you become a member of the I Could Be Done Trust right now. Learn those information so you can actually, you know, live the dating and relationship experiences that you deserve to experience, that you want to experience, that you need to experience. Okay? So if you've got any questions, any topics you'd like for us to discuss, leave that in the comment section below. And remember, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, because you never know, the video you suggest might just be next. And also, hang on, the link to the album is in the description box below. And the album, yeah, I'll just give it 10 out of 10. But let's hope Royce the Vibe 9 keeps that same energy in the context of the scheme of this album, and talk to Eminem and speak to the public about it as well. If you had to do it in, rhyming format, do that.